just having that day-to-day confidence of where, today I'm going into training, I'm going to be the best, and even if something bad happens, score break or something like that happens in training, just the confidence to keep that rolling, not let it affect me. And this outcome is going to be the outcome that I want it to be.
Welcome to the Living in the Zone podcast. I'm your host, ZoneCoach Jim Fannin. I've coached champions in life, business, and sports for 50 years with a proprietary thought management system that I discovered called SCORE. Every guest on this show has been in what we call a zone state, a purposeful, calm feeling where nothing can go wrong, and you're performing at your highest level. On today's episode of Living in the Zone, we're going to sit down with Lawson Sunderland, a rising star for Inter Miami Soccer Club. As one of the young talents shaping the future of American soccer, Lawson brings a unique blend of skill, determination, and vision on the field. We'll be talking about his journey to Inter Miami, the mental and physical demands of a professional player, and what it takes to thrive in an incredibly competitive world of soccer. And it's all right here, right now, on Living in the Zone. Lawson Sunderland, welcome to Living in the Zone. How are you, Lawson?
I'm awesome, man. I'm awesome. Honored to be here. I'm very excited for this.
I'm fired up about you. 22 years old, correct? I think
Yep.
I have a belt that old, 22 years old. But at 22, professional soccer player on Inter Miami, playing with Messi, other global stars on your team. That's got to be pretty heady stuff. When I first met you, I made it really clear you're more than a soccer player. Do you remember that meeting, the first meeting we had? Tell me about that.
Well, it was definitely a topic that, I hadn't thought about too much, obviously. Most of my life has revolved around soccer, and the idea of being, more than that has been introduced before, but, you really touched on that and made it an important factor in my life.
Well, you're a son, you're a brother, you got an awesome brother. Tell me about, he grew up in soccer. We got to let everybody know your dad is an accomplished world-class soccer coach. You and your brother were kind of under his wing growing up. Your mother played collegiate soccer, so you all are a soccer crazy family with leagues all around. But how was it growing up under Larry Sunderland? You were with the Chicago Fire Youth Academy, Portland Timbers Youth Academy, and now you're obviously under the wing of MLS Inter Miami. How was it growing up with a soccer dad, and did he cut you any slack on the field, or did he make it harder on you?
Yeah, it was awesome growing up having my dad there, being a coach as well as being an amazing dad. Definitely did not cut me any slack, which I'm very grateful for. And yeah, he kind of knows all the buttons to push and, what gets me fired up, what calms me down, and obviously all the soccer part, that's his expertise. So it is a blessing for sure.
When was the first time in youth soccer that you had a zone game, a purposeful calm, everything's in sync, you're flowing, you're seeing the field well, your passing's great, your footwork's great, all your energy's on the other side? When's the first time you go back in your memory bank and say, wow, I was totally locked in. I was in a zone state.
Yeah, there's one game specifically I go back to pretty often, playing against one of my best friends now. I think we had to have been about 8 or 9 years old. I ended up scoring 5 goals in this game. And I just remember being on the field, pulling out skill moves that typically hadn't done, and everything just felt like it was going my way. I remember one of my buddy's dads on the sidelines made a joke about making the goal bigger for me, and that one's kind of stuck around as an inside joke within a couple of the guys. So that's probably my
Did,
first one
did,
that I remember
did the game slow down at that point for you? Did
for
you
sure.
see it almost in a slow motion state?
For sure, yeah. Mhm.
And what's your
Yeah,
buddy? Are you competing against him still?
yeah. I mean, he plays in college now, but we still, we train together whenever we can, play together, and yeah, we'll be playing against each other soon.
Now, I've coached a lot of midfielders. Peter Novak, an
Mhm.
MVP of MLS, and tell me about playing the midfielder position. How is that position, and how are you suited for that position?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, in my opinion, the most fun position to play. You're always around the ball in the middle of everything. Kind of the guy in the middle making everything work, and that's what I love to do. I love getting on the ball, turning, kind of linking the back line and the front line together, and obviously that has a big part in the defensive side as well. You're the guy in the middle of everything, and you gotta make sure things don't get back through to your back line. So it's a really fun position to play.
I know you have some high aspirations. Tell me about those. Where's Lawson going to be in the next 5 years? What's happening to you? What do
Yeah,
you
we got
see?
a lot of big goals.
Crystal ball. What do you see?
Yeah, so you know, in the near future, I want to become a starter. Get consistent minutes and play every game. But I see myself. I want to play for the national team. I want to make a transfer to a big Premier League team and just get to the highest level that I can get to.
So what are your strengths? What do you do well?
Man,
Can you brag on yourself a little bit?
yeah. We'll,
What's
we'll we'll
dominant
get
with
into that.
Lawson?
I'm the hardest worker on the field. Um, that's something that's been introduced newly to me, and every day in training, that's what I go into. I focus on. But I'm very good on the ball.
Well, hold up. I'm the hardest worker on the field, and that's
Yeah,
something new. Tell
yeah.
me about tell me about that.
Something we've been working on a lot actually. This it's kind of the idea of being aggressive and ready to go into every session, and it comes in preparation comes into it, and as we've talked, if you're the most prepared, you're ready to go on the field. If you see everything happen before, you're ready to go for it. And before training, I want to be the hardest worker today, and I'm ready for that every day.
The first thing I know that we did several months ago was come up with a blueprint,
Hmm.
kind of reverse engineer. Um, how was that having a blueprint for where you wanted to go? Was that new?
Very new, very new, and different to a lot of things that I've learned before. It's been very nice having a blueprint, because you can kind of look at it and be like, okay, well, I have to have this done by this date, and this will eventually lead me to this goal, which brings me to my main goal at the end. And like you said, reverse engineering everything. It's been a very cool way of looking at it.
So the first part of the score system is self-discipline. Is that what you needed the most when uh, you and I met?
I think so, yeah. I mean, I need a lot of all five. But I think self-discipline, to kind of get a plan together and not only know where I'm going to go, but how I'm going to get there was very important for me.
A lot of athletes, pro athletes, entertainers, business people come to me for I want an edge on the competition. But a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people come to me and go, things aren't going well. I've hit
Mm-hmm.
a slump, and I know I'm good. I've been good, and I want to get back. And did you have some dark times before you called me? Did you have some deep conversation with your dad about where do you want to go? And I met your dad really
Mm-hmm.
almost by coincidence with someone that your dad knows and I know, and
Yeah.
we kind of met by coincidence. But what was the deciding factor? Because really, this show to me and you are all about the making of a champion.
Mm-hmm.
I've already seen the champion quality that you have, the world class ability that you have now. But to make that transition to go, okay, I'm going to go get some psychological discipline. What was that transition from not having that edge and not having a blueprint to right now, and how quick did that happen?
Yeah, I mean, it's still a work in progress, obviously. We work on it every day still. But I've had a lot of talks with my dad, other people I consider mentors to me, and just kind of about, I've gotten to a spot where I'm getting opportunities, but I'm not really taking them, and I'm getting there. I'm so close, but I feel like I can't break through. And, since we've started working, I feel like just kind of having the idea of, all right, this is what we need to do. This is how we're going to do it. It's definitely helped me a lot. And, I think having that mental edge is definitely such an important part of the game, not only in soccer and sports, but in every aspect of life.
Well, you're far more than a soccer player. I remember saying that to you at the beginning. We broke down your personal finance, which,
Yeah,
we want that to get bigger, and
of
but you
course.
still have to manage what you have. And there's a social life. I mean,
Hmm.
you live in Miami, you're young, handsome, you're single. Uh,
Of
there's a social life. You got to manage that. That can get out of control, as
course.
most people know,
Hmm.
especially on South Beach. That makes it even more difficult. Being the best brother you can be. I know we broke your entire life down into arenas or segments, and you have a vision for each one. Um, Optimism. When I first met you, I already knew you believed you were good, and
Hmm.
you are. And I have no doubt you will climb this mountain that you put in front of yourself. And um, how has your confidence changed, your belief, and maybe your expectancy on a daily basis? And how is
Yeah,
it in everything, not just soccer? How's your
yeah,
optimism?
it's definitely changed a lot since we started working together. I've always growing up, I've always kind of, had just like you say, the sense of knowing. I've always kind of known, it was going to happen for me, but just having that day to day confidence of where, today I'm going into training, I'm going to be the best, and even if something bad happens, a score break or something like that happens in training, just the confidence to keep that rolling, not let it affect me. And this outcome is going to be the outcome that I want it to be. It's, it's
Well,
changed a lot.
that's a major change. How were you before the score system? If something happened negative, did you dwell on it? Were you a worrier?
I
What
was a warrior. Yeah.
You
Oh
were a
yeah.
worrier.
Uh-huh.
So what's a typical day of a worrier after a game, during a game? What could someone 22 possibly worry about?
I mean, just the classic things. What's the coach going to think today if I don't train well? What's my dad going to think? What am I going to do after this training if it's not a good training for me? How do I get into the game? How am I ready for this game if my body's not feeling good? A lot of things that you could worry about and just a waste of time, really.
How did you used to react when maybe you had an open goal, open net right there, and you missed it, left, right, over?
Yeah.
What did you used to do when you had missed opportunity and your expectation did not meet reality? How did the old Lawson handle that?
The old me. Head down, big one. Head down, kind of thinking about it right away. It's like, man, how'd I miss that? And as I've learned now with you, that's something that can't happen. You gotta just move on to next. Um, so yeah, that was a big one. Just put my head down after something bad.
What are some other tools that you've used to help you be in a zone state?
Keeping the chin up for sure. That's been a big one, within me and my team, my group of friends. For sure, anything happens, good, bad, put the chin up. And it's crazy how quick everything just kind of vanishes. And using our reboot tool as well, that's been a big one. Just staying in the zone, not letting anything affect me.
The other thing I've been very impressed with you is that you had some pretty amazing evaluations. You know, I suck is not an evaluation, and I've gotten that for a lot of 20-year-old. How'd you do? I suck today. I was terrible. I'm like, I don't know what to even do with that information. You're so much different. I mean, because of your upbringing with your father and your mother, and being involved in all these academies, and you also had a stint in Spain, which I
Oh
want
yeah.
to talk about. Very knowledgeable, but when you and I evaluate now, it's pretty intricate from the very beginning of how you opened and how you closed and how you finished. Let's talk about your last game, because I I thought that was a zone game, quite frankly.
Thanks, man.
Tell me about that game and what was the difference in you in this is just a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
What what was that like and how different was that?
I kind of feel a big one that, we've been working on that I felt kind of showed a little bit during the game the other day was just aggressiveness. And obviously that's a very broad statement, but I feel like that comes, kind of making a run. If I see the runs available, making a run behind. Even if I don't get the ball, something's going to happen throughout that run. I think that happened a couple times during the game where, made a run into the box, but didn't end up getting the ball, opens up for someone else who gets a chance on goal. So yeah, I think the aggressiveness has been a big one, and that certainly helped the other day.
You had four penalties, which I was
Yeah,
actually going, you had a yellow card. Luckily,
yeah,
no red card,
no red
which is
card.
but very aggressive and you put the other team on its heels. I thought single-handedly your energy engulfed the other team. You all won five. I think you were ahead 5-0 when you were taken out. I think they scored a goal
Mhm.
when you were out. But both sides of the ball, defensive, hard tackles, taking knocked one guy out of the game. I was like, that was pretty aggressive, almost a foul, but it wasn't.
Mhm.
Um, and you scored a goal. Your passing's improved. What are
Mhm.
some other tools that you've used in the last 2 months? And one would be visualization. Tell
Oh
everybody
yeah.
about your awareness is heightened. You know your discipline, your concentration, your optimism, your relaxation. You're very aware of that. You're very aware
Mhm.
of your score level, if you will. How has visualization helped you, and how are you using it?
Man, visualization's been such an incredible tool to have. Our sessions where we just work on specifically that have been very fun and very cool to see.
Give me
But
an
just
example.
yeah, so the goal I scored the other day, actually, we worked on it. I think it was the night before the game. We're working on kind of inside on top of the box, getting the ball, right side of the goal. I see that shot 5 times. Left side of the goal, see that shot 5 times. Middle of the goal 5 times, and see it as it is. And it's funny, kind of the exact same scenario we talked about happened in the game. Got the ball right on top of the box, turned, and right side of the goal. That's just how it showed up. And I'd seen it already.
Yeah, visualization. We all visualize. In fact, most of us, all of us listening, we're visualizing 60% of the time,
Mm.
usually in chaos.
Yeah,
But we also visualize what we don't want,
yeah.
as opposed to what we do want. How have you eliminated thinking what you don't want? Because that was a paradigm shift for you.
For sure. Yeah. It's kind of been instead of thinking about the bad things that can happen in the game, a missed touch leading to a goal, bad pass, giveaways, missed tackles and stuff, kind of thinking more on the opposite side of that spectrum. What would a good tackle look like? As we talk, crunching people, seeing that over and over again and kind of more seeing what I want and seeing what helps me has been vital to my game.
Your family had so much confidence in you to actually ship you to Spain.
Oh yeah.
5 years. Am I right?
You're right. 5 years.
They just said, go for it. And obviously, you talk to them every day, I'm sure, as much as possible. When did you leave for Spain, and what kind of adventure was that? Was that your first trip out of the country?
Wasn't my first one out of the country, but it was the first one where I knew I was going to be gone for an extended period of time.
How old were
Yeah,
you?
15. 15.
15. No driver's license. I'm
Nothing.
I, I'm going to Spain. And did you go to school in Spain?
So I
Was
went
it
to,
online?
I did my school online, but I also went to school in Spain, kind of legally I had to. So I did both of them at the same time. And that was an experience, not really knowing the language, but it's a great way to learn the language and,
And
kind
where
of
were
be.
you? Were you in Barcelona?
So my first year I was in Valencia in a residence with, I think it was 30 other Spanish kids. And that was an interesting way to live, but obviously
I
growing
like
some
Valencia. It's beautiful.
beautiful, man, beautiful. But yeah, great friendships due to that and, great times. Then my next 4 years after that,
Great food too.
great food, paella,
Yeah, exactly.
my favorite.
But what are some of the takeaways? Because you literally grew up outside of your house, outside of your family, your brother. You grew up almost alone under the guidance of some great Spanish coaches. What were some of the biggest things you learned in that experience? I'm not sure that experience is for every kid 15. I'm going to ship
Yeah,
my kid out of here for 60 months.
of course.
What'd you learn from Spain?
It was different, man. Different in a lot of ways. Obviously, the language. The language has been a huge one that I still use every day here. Culture, very different. Learning siesta, a nap is very acceptable over there.
Over here, you're lazy.
Of
What it nap?
course, yeah,
Get up. There's no nap. It's
yeah, of
mandatory in Spain.
course. You got to 2 o'clock, man.
Yeah, the shops close. Everybody takes a nap. I got
Oh
you.
yeah, oh yeah. And then the soccer over there was totally different too. I learned a lot about playing in tighter areas, tighter spaces. Kind of the idea of having better awareness on the field, which my dad was very big into. So I had an idea of that going over there, but kind of getting that practice and training every day was very good for me.
Let's talk about the awareness. I know scanning the field, looking right shoulder, left shoulder. You've got a teammate that does that more than anybody in the world.
Oh yeah.
Messi. Lionel Messi is scanning constantly.
Hmm.
Now, you learned that in Spain. You learned it from your father, but
Yeah.
you got really indoctrinated that no, if I'm going to be a midfielder, I got to see the field, I got to use my intuition, and I got to think one, two, three moves ahead.
Hmm.
That was an education in Spain.
Yeah, for sure. That's a big one, and you see that in a lot of Spanish players. Obviously players that I'm playing with now. Sergio Busquets does that unbelievably as well. Messi, of course. Um, it's super important to just know where you are on the field, where your own teammates, the opposition, where the spaces are, where I can get into a space and turn the ball. Soccer's a game of if you got the most time, be able to do a lot more with the ball. So just the idea of knowing where I can find time on the field is very important. That's where checking your shoulders, knowing where you are is super important.
So tell me about what have you learned from Messi? What's that all about? Obviously, he took MLS by storm. He's
Yeah.
an owner now in Miami, and y'all are doing well. And
Hmm.
now you're on a team with world-class players. What's that like? Was that intimidating the first time you were on the pitch with Messi going, wow?
For
What was that
sure.
like?
For sure. It's the idea of getting onto a football pitch with your idol is something I've dreamed about since I was
Now,
five,
was he
six.
an idol?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He was the one for me.
Did you have a
Um,
poster?
I had they called them fat heads. I used to have one full size on my wall as a kid. So,
Wow. So
oh
now
yeah.
you're with your idol. He's on the wall. Was that in your bedroom?
Hmm. As a kid.
So you woke up with Messi, you closed your eyes. There was Messi looking at you, and now you're on the pitch with him. Do you remember the first time you had a conversation with him? Was he nice?
Great guy, man. Really cool guy. It was really touching actually to hear him asking more questions about my life than, me asking about his, which I think is just a great statement on someone's character. He cared. He wanted to know where my family was from, why do I speak Spanish, how did I get here? And that was really cool. Just
Wow,
unbelievable guy.
wow, that's endearing.
Yeah,
Now that you get to watch him, what have you learned from him that something he does well?
man, there's so much. On the field, obviously, he's just the best. And like you said, he always knows where he is. He always knows what he's gonna do 2, 3, 4 steps before.
You can
You,
feel him, can't you?
you can feel him. He walks into a room, you know he's there.
It's palpable.
You know he's there before he gets into the room. The second he walks into the building, even. And you watch him just on the field, the way he stands. You can tell he's got control over the game. He can control what everyone on the team's doing, everyone on the other team's gonna do, and yeah, and he wins. So that's what he does.
Do Did you see Messi make a mental mistake and then see how he handled it? Have you seen him make a mistake? Everybody makes mistakes. I know the superstar covers it quickly and rebounds quickly. When he did make a mistake, how did he recover from that? And did you learn anything from that?
For sure, man. I mean, you see him. There's one time where he ended up getting the ball, lost the ball. I think this was against Sporting KC, maybe. Lost the ball. Second he lost the ball, he switched on, changed the chip, and he chased. He chased to get that ball back. I mean, I think it was a good. He chased four or five guys, as the other team was playing the ball, won it back, and I think that's a great testament. Even the best player in the world's got to work, and he works hard, and he won the ball back, and that changes the game. Obviously seeing a guy like that willing to work for the team, it's very important.
He sounds relentless. Is that a good word that might describe his energy on the field? Relentless?
Sorry, sorry, Jim. Say that one more time.
Would that describe him on the field as relentless?
For sure, for sure. Yeah, on the ball, off the ball. He wants to change the game at every moment, and he's going to.
And how's that incorporated into your game?
Just trying to take that same kind of mentality, that same approach. Just being ready to take the opportunity and make the opportunity happen. If I can create a chance, I want to create a chance. And you see that in him every time he gets on the ball. It's almost a goal, for him or for someone else.
How's your relaxation now that you're elevated, your career's being showcased, you're going higher and higher. National team is on the horizon, Premier League, starting for Inter Miami alongside Messi. How's your enjoyment right now? Are you enjoying the journey?
It's high, man. It's high. I love it. It's so fun to to get to be able to do what I love every day. Get to go on the field, work hard, and improve, even if it's a little bit every day. That's fun. But just the entire life run, and I think that's something we've really worked on. Just enjoying every aspect of life, not just if I have a good game. Even if I have a bad game, enjoy it. It's an opportunity to learn. Um, and yeah, just enjoying
Have you learned how to turn your brain off
for
from
sure.
soccer? Tell me about that.
Yeah, man, being a bum, as you like to call it. But just enjoying a day off. If I can do whatever, if I can go out, get on the golf course, or enjoy a good meal, dine like a king. Just shutting everything off, shutting off the other arenas, and enjoying the moment I'm in.
So, what's the scene in Miami for a 22-year-old single star to be a champion to be for Inter Miami? Is that a social challenge for you because you can always find something on South Beach and you're right in the thick of everything. How are you handling the social side?
Yeah, man. It's a challenge. It's obviously there are a lot of opportunities to do whatever you want, and for me, just staying focused and knowing what I can and can't do has been very important. But obviously, living in such a cool area, it's been very fun to get to see different things, try a bunch of new food, meet a ton of people. I've got a great group of friends here, and we like to do coffee runs. We try out just different coffee shops, and a lot of those very good coffee. Um, yeah, it's just a lot of fun down this area.
And and you're still in school. So you're living in the zone, but you're a professional soccer player. You're a brother. You're a son. You have friends. Uh, you've got your own money. Obviously, that's an arena that you're looking to grow that. Um, but how are you in terms of the overall management of your life?
I think since we've implemented the blueprint, it's gotten a lot better. Obviously, um, it's I think since we've started working together, I've gotten a lot better at all of it too. Just knowing when I have to shut off the other arenas and focus on a specific arena, whether that's soccer, being a brother, being a son, just getting on a phone call with my brother or my sister, just locking everything out, making sure my do not disturb's on, so I'm not taking other calls, and just enjoying time I get to spend with my brother and sister. If I have to focus on school, shutting everything else off, I'm ready. I'm in school right now. This is the arena I'm in. So that's been a very cool implementation to my life.
And how are you doing? How are you doing on your grades?
Good, pretty good, man. Almost done. I've got a couple more classes till I graduate, so I'm excited for that. And yeah, we're knocking it
Well,
out.
listen, I commend you to be a professional athlete and say, no, no, I'm going to get my degree no matter what. I am more than a soccer player.
Hmm.
Uh, that must make mom happy. Does that make mom happy?
Oh yeah, it does. We talk about it a lot. She helps me all the time. She's always calling me, asking, "Is there any essay I can help write, or anything like that?" Like, I'm old enough now where I should be doing this alone, but thank you. I mean, she's the best. But yeah, it definitely makes mom happy.
And the other thing, I'm so proud of you. You've actually taken your little brother under your wing a little bit. That's kind of new, isn't it?
For sure, man. I mean, he's done that for me countless times, and we help each other out. It's kind of like a iron sharpens iron kind of thing. He's
Tell me
right
about
now,
your brother. What's he doing?
man, what a guy. So he was a goalkeeper for FC Cincinnati, professional goalkeeper, and unfortunately had to retire due to concussions. And so now he's actually at Texas State playing football. He's going to be, the kickoff guy. Hopefully, get some field goals and punt. So it's totally different kind of arena and different experience for everyone involved. So yeah, just him transitioning into a new sport, a new chapter in life. I try to be there as much as I can for him, and we have great talks all the time about what he's going through, what I'm going through, and it's been really cool to get to help each other out through that.
He's a freshman. Where's he going?
Texas State
Texas
Bobcats.
State. Texas football. You can't get any better than Texas football, that's for sure. High
Oh
school and
yeah,
college. So that's exciting. So what a transition though from being a keeper to now he's a punter and a kickoff guy. So does he have pro football aspirations? Has he thought about it?
yeah, he's thought about it, and we've got full belief in him, man. He's gonna be special, especially in football. He was in soccer, and he will be in football too.
Now you mentioned your sister. Tell me about her. What's her name?
McKenna, McKenna
McKenna.
Sunderland. She's
What's
amazing.
Tell me about her.
Yeah, I mean, she's one of my best friends. She's so awesome. I get a text every day just about random stuff that she's going through. She's
Is
in
she
school right
older,
now,
younger?
younger than me. She just got accepted into nursing school at University of Kentucky, so we're all super excited for her.
My two favorite things:
Yeah.
nurses and Kentucky. Come on,
There you
I'm from
go.
Kentucky, and is she going to the University of Kentucky?
Yeah, man. Hmm.
Oh, that's exciting. Good for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
grandma nurse, mom ran a school of nursing, daughter's a nurse.
So
What
awesome.
our producer's girlfriend's a nurse, so yeah, we're nurse advocates, and there's nothing better than having a nurse as a sister. Very
Nothing better.
empathetic and very aware. I love
Man,
that.
saving lives every day.
So in the next year,
Hmm.
you're pretty open-minded of where you want to go. What do you think you need to work on mentally in terms of the score system to take you to the next level? Things maybe we're doing right now, but what really is at the forefront of your mind of getting you to that next step, the real making of a champion? What do
Hmm.
you need?
I think I just need to keep building on my self-discipline. I think optimism's also been an important one for me, just knowing things are going to turn out well and that I have the ability to make that happen. But yeah,
Well,
I think so.
I tell you one thing you've done.
Mm-hmm.
When I first met you, you had belief. That
Hmm.
was a given, and you started having more expectancy.
For sure.
Now you expect to hit a standard every day, and now you're going from expectancy to knowing. And for everybody watching or listening, that is a major transformation to go from, yeah, I believe I can do it. Now I expect to do it. I know I can do it. And when you got validated 2 days ago, and it showed that that visualization 2 days before the game manifested into a goal for me, exactly the way you visualized it. Uh, that's pretty exciting. But your expectancy right now has changed about you on a day-to-day basis. How is that expectancy? Let's talk about tomorrow. As you prepare for tomorrow later tonight,
Hmm.
what's your typical routine of seeing the next day?
Yeah, I mean, this is something we talk about a lot, and seeing, kind of exactly what I want to happen or what's going to happen. So for example, tomorrow I have training in the morning, so I see myself waking up, getting ready for it, doing my prep beforehand, and then I see myself on the field. Um, I expect to hit that standard, that high standard, and continue to build on that. And that's something that's definitely changed. Sometimes before I'd get in the training, show up to the facility, stretch a little bit, and then just hop on the field. And I haven't turned anything on mentally. I get on the field obviously, and you're in the game, but really making sure the mental part is locked in and ready to go beforehand has been very important for me.
Well, you're now becoming, a 22-year-old influencer of thought. And I know you've influenced everybody else on your team. I know your coaches have seen the change in you, which is more aggressive, more attacking, but definitely you can play defense too. That's improved your defense. We talked about that a lot. We did visualizations over and over on tackling. Tell me
Yeah.
about those visualizations and how that transcended.
Yeah, that's been something that's changed for sure in my game. Um, Early on we talked about obviously the tackling visualization and seeing guys that you want to tackle, guys that play on the best players in the world, play on the best teams, and just kind of close my mind, seeing them dribble at me, you know, doing a step over, doing a cut to one side, and just getting through that tackle, making sure they don't get by me. And
Well,
it,
let's,
it's funny.
let's put that in perspective, though. You just said something important.
Mm,
You were visualizing doing this against the best midfielders in the Premier League.
yeah,
Is that true?
very true,
You
very
made
true.
you made a list for me. I said, "Who's the best that you could go up against?" You listed them. You took all their strengths, and then you started visualizing beating them,
Yeah,
exploiting them. Uh, that's pretty exciting. That's going to happen soon. I can't wait for you're going to have a big grin on your face once you manifest those. How often do you visualize on a proactive way?
I mean we do it every day. I like to visualize before training as well. Just seeing these specific things. Tackling's been a big one. I like to see that, and that's something I've been trying to work on. Seeing my VEBs, we like to call them, visually enhanced behaviors. That's my dad right there. But seeing this happen on the field, and you know, seeing myself look around and make a turn, seeing that happen over and over again, and yeah. So I'd say it happens every day,
Every single day. Now
every day.
it's game time.
Hmm.
What do you do on game day?
Yeah, there's a lot of time on a game day. Typically games are at night, so the morning there's a lot of time to think and get ready, which could be good or bad. And I think we've
A
transitioned that
lot, a
into
lot of
being,
time, a lot of time to think too much,
yeah, of course,
overthink.
of
How
course.
did you used to do it? Did you wing it?
Sometimes, I've taken a couple different approaches. Sometimes I just go out there and wing it. I'm not going to watch film today. I just want to get into it and not think about anything beforehand. Mixed results, obviously. But I think for us, it's been finding a routine of what I want to do on game days, and we've changed that for sure. So now I'm making sure I'm visualizing, making sure I know my film. I've done my study of what the guys on the other team are going to do, what I need to do to exploit things, and just being prepared for a game. It's a game changer.
You've improved in your aggression. You've improved in your approach. You've improved passing. You've improved footwork. You've improved striking. Um, and you've improved mentally. What do you think is the biggest improvement that you've made in the last 90 days?
Man, it's been mentally, kind of everything. I think preparation for training sessions and framing things, but I think off the field as well has been very important. Just building my relationship with my family, and knowing kind of when to shut things off and when to open an arena, and kind of live in the moment. And that's been something that's changed for me. A lot of times used to spend time worrying about, okay, I got this thing going on tomorrow. That's stressful. But now it's more, you know what? Tomorrow happens tomorrow. I'm here right now. So that's been a big change. I think that's been the most important.
I know one of the first things that we did was control your breathing and to make that your superpower, that nobody, no circumstance, no condition changes your breath per minute. And
Hmm.
to put this in perspective, the average person has 15 to 70 breaths per minute. You have maintained single digit breath per minute, not only on the pitch, not only in practice, but everywhere. How did that transition go, and how swiftly did you make that change in just controlling your breathing?
Yeah, that was a very big change for us. I think we were on a phone call before a game in Vancouver, and you timed me. You did the minute. I believe I was at 11 or 12 breaths, which was an improvement on me, but it still wasn't where we wanted to get. So just being aware of how I'm breathing and slowing that down has been big because it's crazy, kind of the effect that it has. Slowing your breathing down, you feel very relaxed right off the bat, and it kind of brings you into that, calm state of mind. It's been
Well,
very cool.
you not only controlled your breathing, the heart rate goes up, which is going to
Mhm.
do because you're running, sprinting, and your breathing lowers. That's kind of like patting your head and rubbing your stomach at the same time, and but you've used that purposeful calm and pretty much everything. I've given you some crazy assignments, homework. Do you have any in your mind? I know a couple I've given you. One is to write a script on selling you on the awesomeness of you.
That's the one.
Tell everybody about that one. That was my assignment. Like, what? What do you want me to do?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that was probably our first week, and obviously your story of you going to different banks and you know selling them on you, but you also selling yourself on you, taking your walk around. That was so cool to hear, and yeah, I mean you told me to kind of do the same thing, so I went upstairs. I got off the phone. We got off the phone with you, and I went upstairs. I opened my little balcony, so I went out there, sat on my balcony. I'm three floors above the street, so I'm sitting out there. And it's probably very interesting to look at from people walking on the street. I was just talking to myself outside, just thinking, what can I say about myself? What am I good at? Really getting into that and my strengths, and really just selling myself on what I'm good at. And so yeah, I mean, I called you. You didn't answer. It was supposed to be a voicemail. And yeah, it was.
You dropped it. You dropped it on my phone, and of course, I, I had no idea what's going to be on the phone.
Yeah.
And then when I opened up and listened to it, you like blew me away. I'm like, I don't even know who this guy is. Who's that guy? I'm Lawson Sunderland. I'm this and that. And I'm going to do this. I'll be in the Premier League, and it was really amazing to see the champion just transform. From a moth. Not that you were a moth, but boy, I just saw the monarch butterfly wings, and I'm like, oh man,
Yeah,
uh, this
man,
guy's this guy's off and running.
yeah, you're a wizard, dude.
Well, I don't
You-
know about that, but thank you very much. But you're the one. Yeah, hey, I'm just the Sherpa helping you up the mountain. When you get to the top, the only footprints are going to be yours. I'm the observer, and I'm rooting you on. I am holding you accountable, though. Uh,
Mhm.
but you've taken the score system and applied it in everything in your life. I mean, you even walk into a restaurant different. And I remember that was one of the assignments.
Yeah.
About
Hmm.
Tell us about that assignment to walk into a place like you own the joint.
Yeah, walk into it and talk to the owner was another one. So I went into a pizza place, a little pizza place near my apartment. Went in and owner was right at the front of the door. So it was a pretty easy one. Just kind of happened to work out like that. Talked to the guy. Good pizza. And a very cool person running the place. So that's yeah. I mean, your assignments, man, have really changed a lot of perspectives on things for me.
Did
And
I did I have you collect smiles?
oh yeah, oh yeah. It was
Tell
10
her
smiles. It was our
that,
second
now,
day.
That was a crazy. That was like our second day, wasn't it?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And
Yeah,
this
we
was all. This was all about influencing others, because I mean, obviously,
mhm.
you're looking to be a captain on the team, the focal point, the midfielder. Everything runs through you. You're an
Mhm.
influencer. You
Yeah.
influence the other team in a negative way. You influence your team in a positive way. Tell everybody about that assignment. That was kind of crazy, I know. When you first
Yeah.
started.
It's a different kind of one. It was we had our phone call. You dropped a couple really good stories, funny stories that we had a couple good laughs about, and you told me to walk inside and throughout the next 24 hours collect 10 smiles. Make sure 10 people smile because of you. And it was literally we got off the phone call. I walked inside my apartment building, got in the elevator, and walked in the elevator. Someone else was in there. We both kind of cracked a joke about each other, started laughing. So it was right off the bat. And second,
One,
someone else right off the
once,
bat. That was one. But yeah, the second someone else smiles, you smile, and it just really brightens your mood as well. So that was a cool assignment, really cool one.
well, I'm so excited about you manifesting your potential. You have a blueprint. Uh, I can shut my eyes and see you representing the United States of America uh, on the world stage, in the World Cup, being a difference maker. I see you midfielder in the Premier League. First things first, I see you starting for Inter Miami, of course.
Hmm.
Um, what's next for you right now for the rest of the season? And as you finish this season, going into next season, what's next in the short term?
Yeah, short term, I want to establish a starting spot, and get into more games and make more things happen, create chances, get points, score a goal, get some assists, and yeah, I think just work on continue to improve what we work on, and get better on the field every day. And yeah, I want to get a starting spot.
There's a million 22-year-olds watching and listening this show right now. They're
Mm.
22. They may not be soccer players, they may be students, they may have graduated, now they're in business. What would you tell all the 22-year-olds right now in the world what they need to do? What have you learned that you can impart to someone else your age?
Yeah. I'd say just work hard, whatever it is, whether that be, school, a sport, business, phone call with your family, work hard on asking better questions, learning more about other people, and yeah, and just be open-minded and try and learn as much as you can.
That's one of the things I've loved working with you, is that you are a lifelong learner. And I've said it many times to you, if you lose, but you learn, you never lose. You
Yeah.
miss a goal, but you learn from it, you never lose. You miss a goal, you make a bad pass, shoulda, coulda, woulda, you don't learn from it. Well, that's the pathway of a loser. So there's a couple of ways to go to the top of a sport. You can take the dirt road, not a lot of help, and kind of out there on your own. You can take a paved road up that mountain, a little bit easier, but still a long, winding road.
Hmm.
You can take the stairs, which I think you were on the stairs, 2 steps up, 1 step back. That's very frustrating.
Hmm.
And then we talked about the escalator, which it just pulls you. But that's the vision that pulls you. It's not trying at all. In fact, you've eliminated the word TRY, which is a to ruin yourself.
Yeah.
But we also talked about the last way to go to the top.
Oh yeah.
Tell us about that way, and what's that pathway to the top?
Oh man, the elevator. Kind of just right to the top. We're getting where we want to go, and now. So that's where we're going right now.
So when you get in that invisible elevator glass, you just put Premier League, and
Yeah.
I, yeah, it's really based on the premise you have to be it
Mm.
long before you'll acquire the accolades, the money, all those things that come with being a starting midfielder in a Premier League. You have a bright future. My advice to you: get sunglasses and some oxygen because you're going up.
Love it.
You're definitely going up. Put the shades on, put the blinders on, but I want everybody to know Lawson Sunderland is so much more than a professional, young, champion to be soccer player. I mean, great son, great brother, great friend, and you're really great treating yourself like a champion. It's been a definite honor and a privilege to help you and work with you. I can't wait to see your future. I'm excited for it. Any parting words you'd like to, or any shout outs to anybody you'd like to give about people maybe that have helped you along the way?
Man, there's so many people, all my friends, my family, of course, all my family, brother, sister, mom, dad, entire extended family. I'd like to thank, Coach Alex Mihalovich for putting us in touch. I got a message from him. It's the guy you got to speak with, and man, boy, was he right. So yeah, I'd like to thank him for sure. And man, thank you. It's an honor to be on the show. It's an honor to learn from you every day and listen to you. Kind of always be in the zone, and that's unbelievable how you do it.
Every one of us at ZoneCoach Consulting Service, I mean, we don't just believe in you. We expect you to succeed, and we're here no matter what. I'm 24/7, so and you have given me a few late night calls, and we haven't missed a beat. So you've been a pleasure to work with. Your future's bright. Thanks for being on Living in the Zone. I appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, man.
Thanks for watching or listening to Living in the Zone podcast. Make sure that you subscribe so you can be up to date on all of our information and content. Go to ZoneCoach.com where you're going to learn more on how we can help you live your life, business, or sport in the zone.